a racketeering trial for 13 reputed members of New Orleans gangs who federal prosecutors say are implicated in nearly as many murders was pushed back to November on Monday, September 19. Among the victims named in the June 2015, 45-count indictment against the defendants is local rapper Magnolia Shorty, who was fatally shot in December 2010 along with Jerome Hampton, while sitting in a car in New Orleans East. The murders of them and 10 other people are detailed in the indictment, and each of the defendants is tied to at least one death. A jury had already been selected and the trial was expected to begin Monday. The jury was dismissed Monday, however, after U.S. District Judge Jay Zaney granted the defense attorneys a continuance, said David Rosas, the attorney for defendant Alonzo Woody Peters. The trial date was reset for November 28. Rosas and attorneys for the other defendants filed a request over the weekend seeking more time to prepare for trial. The indictment says the defendants are members of the 39ers, an alliance between the three-gang gang, named for the intersection of 3rd and Galvez Streets where they operated in the Huffman Triangle, and the G-Strip gang, which congregated on Gallier Street in the 9th Ward. Feds indict 13 gang members, 39ers accused of a dozen murders. Feds indict 13 gang members, 39ers accused of a dozen murders. Each of the 13 defendants named in the 45-count indictment were implicated in at least one murder. The groups are accused of trafficking heroin and crack cocaine to New Orleans from Houston on buses. The indictment states they sold the drugs in across the city, especially neighborhoods in the Uptown area and in the 9th Ward. The crimes detailed in the indictment occurred from at least January 2009 until September 2011, the document states. The defense's request for the trial delay cited massive amounts of evidence turned over to them by the federal prosecutors in the last 2 weeks that the attorneys have not had time to review. Specifically, prosecutors since September 5 submitted to defense attorneys 7,593 recorded jailhouse calls from incarcerated witnesses who cooperated with the investigation into the accused gang members. After devoting 350 hours to reviewing the calls and assigning paralegals, receptionists, associates and other employees to the task, a motion written by defense attorney William Southern states, more than 80% of the calls still had not been reviewed or listened to at all. Southern is representing Evans Easy Lewis. The most recent batch of calls turned over to defense attorneys came Saturday, the document says, 717 calls involving the same inmate at a correctional facility in St. Bernard Parish. Gregory Stewart confessed to participating in the killing of the popular bounce rapper. The 13 defendants are Peters, Lewis, Leroy Lee Price, Ashton Pound Price, Jasmine J. Realberry, McCoy Rat Walker, Terrius T. Redoni, Curtis Pooney Neville, Rico Freaky Jackson, Tyrone Tebow Knockham, Solomon Black Doyle, Washington Big Wash McCaskill and Damian Ed Barnes. At the time of the indictment last year, the defendants' ages ranged from 23 to 36. The 12 murder victims are Lowe, Hampton, Kendall Fabre, Rayshon Jones, Lester Green, Donald Daniels, Elton Fields, Renetta Magnolia Shorty Lowe, Terrence Dennis, Little John Haynes, Floyd Moore, Gregory Keys and Michael Marshall.